Hi, I am Abdul Rameez, a senior security analyst at CyberSapiens. I am a certified ethical hacker and a certified mobile pen tester at CyberSapiens. I handle client projects on web and mobile service.
Hi, my name is Kuldeep and I am a cybersecurity analyst at CyberSapiens and I handle web application penetration testing as well as API penetration testing. And I am also a certified ethical hacker.
So let's move on to the brief overview of what is VAPT. VAPT is a structured approach to find the loopholes in the targets. So VA, it's about vulnerability assessment where you find the security loopholes in the targets, and penetration testing, it's about exploiting the vulnerabilities that found in the particular target. So vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, it is an advanced version of ethical hacking where you are able to identify security vulnerabilities in the system. So next we have key domains in VAPT. So first one, it's about network security. So network security, it's about finding the loopholes in the network of a organization. Then we have web security. So identifying the risks or vulnerabilities in the web application. So next we have API security, which is of finding the loopholes in the API application. And also we have the mobile security where we are doing a VAPT on the mobile application to find the loophole. And at the end, we have cloud security. It's about finding the security risks in the cloud environment. So next we'll see what is web API and mobile VAPT. So let's see about web VAPT. So web VAPT, it's about finding the vulnerabilities in the web application or websites. So it's about simulating the cyber attacks on the web application and discover the potential vulnerabilities that found in that particular target. So let's move on to the API VAPT. API VAPT focuses on finding the loopholes in the API calls, where API is one of the program which will allow the software to communicate each other. And API, if any of the APIs are exposed to the internet, it becomes a critical target for the hackers and find the hackers and exploit that particular program. So let's move on to the mobile VAPT. Mobile VAPT involves finding the loopholes in the mobile application. It could be Android or it could be iOS, and exploiting that for a particular vulnerability. And like if it is leaking the sensitive data or if it is leaking resources on the mobile application, and finding these loopholes will fix the mobile application and secure our devices.
So next we'll see why this web application API and mobile are combined. So since a few years ago they were like only focused domain where the web application will be having separate testing and the APIs had separate testing and the mobile application had separate testing. But nowadays, since the interconnectivity between system, like the API calls will be there, right? So it will be working the same for the web application as well as for the mobile application. That is the reason we had combined all this technology together over here. And also due to similar technology usage, so many programming language will be there, so there will be certain similarities over there. So that is the main reason as well. And coming to your industry demand, since a company cannot hire for more than like 3 people in a row for web application, API and mobile separately, so they need a skilled candidate who is like handling all the things for web application, mobile and API testing. So now we'll see some of the required skill set in order to know or in order to become a cybersecurity analyst in these domains. So first is your basic knowledge. So you have to have an understanding of how an internet works or how a website works or a web application works. And coming to next, that is your basic computer knowledge, in the sense how the computers works, how the networks will be there, all these things will be covered over here. And also some of the command line usage, like in Windows or it might be your Mac OS or Linux. So each of them have different command line. So you have to know all the some of the basic commands of those systems over there. And coming next, we'll be seeing basic cybersecurity concept, like theoretical concept, like what is cybersecurity and how the web application works, or it might be how API will be there in between two web applications. These kind of basic things we will be covering in cybersecurity concepts. And so coming to our web technologies, so we need to understand how CSS, Java and HTML works. Along with that, some of the website functionalities also we will need to understand. Coming to soft skill required for web API and mobile. So first we have communication skill. So if you find any of the flaw in the web application, you will need to explain how that particular web application flaw works and how you will be able to fix that particular vulnerability. Coming to the adaptable. So if there are any new tools that are there in the industry, so you have to quickly learn how that particular tool works, and so that your task will be efficient over there. So next is your time management. So in time management, we will be balancing our tasks along with the deadlines as well. So we need to complete that particular task whichever has been given for testing before the deadline.
So next, we'll be seeing some of the tools that you can use for web VAPT. We have tools like VAPT, Metasploit, Katana, ReconNG, SCPX, BXS Hunter, and also like Nuclei, CMS Seek, Subfinder. So there are like lot of tools which can be used for web application VAPT. Same way, we have tools used for API VAPT like Postman, Insomnia, FUF tool, Akinetics, Soap tool. So these are the tools which is used for API VAPT. Then we have tools for mobile VAPT testing, and that we can use tools like APK Leaks, ADB Toolkit, APK and MobSF, Burp Suite, Browser, Objection. So these tools will help you to find the loopholes or the security weakness in the different targets of web, mobile and API.
So now we'll see how the web application works. So basically there will be many privileged users, like some user having certain subscriptions, some are like free users. Along with that, there will be certain users who will be only submitting certain forms for the servers. So whenever users submit any kind of request, so web servers will be allocating depending on what kind of request has been made from the user. For example, if the user submit any kind of forms, so that particular form will be later going to the programs module where it will be stored in the database. Okay. Same way, if some of the user request for any kind of static pages where they only want to view the resources, in that case only static pages will be allocated for that particular users. So there might be certain security weaknesses in the web application as well. So for example, there are certain privileged users over there. So there are like membership user as well as free users. So if a free user can use the membership version, so there will be like, it is a security flaw over there. Due to these security weaknesses, the company could get certain reputation damages as well. So that is how web application will be working. So now we'll see how does the API work. So if I had to give an example, so we can take an example of a restaurant. Okay. So people who will be visiting the restaurant will be client over there. Okay. So client will be sending certain request for the server. So here, if we have to refer for the example of the restaurant, there the waiters will be serving as a API over there. Okay. So waiters, what they'll do, they'll take certain orders from the client, and that particular order will be later delivered to the chefs. Okay, so chefs, what they'll do, they'll prepare the food and give it to the waiter again. So waiter will deliver that particular food to client. So that is the same method how the API will be working. So the client will be there. So that client will do certain requests. So that request will be sent through API to the API servers. So API servers will be generating a response. So that response will be further moved to the client once again through API. Coming to your security aspects. So API calls might have certain misconfiguration where it might lead to certain sensitive information disclosure and other. So now coming to how does the mobile application works. So think you will be doing certain payment for a merchant over there. So in that case, customer, what they'll do, they'll scan a QR code. So after scanning a QR code, they'll enter certain amount. So after entering certain amount in their mobile application, so that particular application will be leading to the payment gateway. So once the user give the password over there, so further the processing will be done. So whatever the amount has been there, right? So that will be sent to merchant directly, and also the response from the issuing bank will be sent to the user directly to their phone. Okay, so that response will be seen by the customer over there. So that is how mobile application will be working over there. So coming to the security aspects, so if there is an attacker in between who will be able to modify the request where he'll be able to change the amount of the payment whatever has been done, those kind of security weaknesses might be there in the mobile application. So this is how web API and mobile will be working.
So next we'll be seeing the job responsibilities in web API and mobile VAPT. So step 1, we have to perform VAPT of web app, API and mobile platforms. So second step, it's about assessing authentication, authorization, rate limiting and input validation on these applications. And next we have to identify and exploit common vulnerabilities like BOLA, IDOR, XSS, SQLI or internal storage vulnerabilities in these applications. Then we have to document the findings with the proof of concept and suggest practical mitigations to fix these vulnerabilities. At the end, we'll have to collaborate with the dev team to fix the vulnerabilities that found in these applications. So next we have the job opportunities in web API and mobile VAPT. So anyways, this is the combined domain. So the key designations will be on this domain. It will be like application security engineer, security analyst, VAPT consultant, ethical hacker, offensive security analyst, cybersecurity specialist, penetration tester, information security analyst, security engineer, security researcher, cybersecurity consultant, and as a freelancer you can work as a bug bounty hunter. And the salary range on this job opportunity on web API and mobile VAPT as a combined domain, the salary range for a junior pen tester, it is which is of security analyst L1 position, which is range to 2.5 to 5 lakh LPA per annum. If you are a mid-senior security analyst, you will be getting the package around 5 to 11 LPA per annum. At the end, if you are the manager at the cybersecurity company, the salary package would be like from 12 LPA to 25 LPA per annum.
So next we'll see, first these are for the students and the beginners who want to make their career in cybersecurity, and coming to the IT professionals. Secondly, it is for the working professional who are already working, but if they want to switch their career to cybersecurity, they can opt for these kind of trainings.